The man, terrified, realized he had been forgotten by humanity on Mars for 108 days. Determined to establish contact with Earth's space center, he painstakingly uncovered the Pathfinder rover buried under a Martian dust storm. The rover, which had been launched in 1997, had long been abandoned, but it was now his only hope. When Jack unearthed it, Earth's space center detected unusual signals from Mars. At this point, none of the staff realized that Jack, who had miraculously survived a massive superstorm over 100 days earlier, was still alive. Curious, the team redirected the camera on the rover to investigate. With Mars 65 million kilometers from Earth, it took over 30 minutes for data to transmit. Jack, anticipating that people on Earth might be reviewing the feed, quickly prepared a message, scrawling it onto a signboard and planting it firmly in the ground. When the team at the Space Center saw his message, they were stunned. Jack was alive. The discovery led to rapid communication between Jack and the Space Center using hexadecimal coding. The entire agency was captivated by this real-time exchange. However, Jack received grim news. He would have to survive on Mars for 4 more years until the next human space mission could retrieve him. To sustain him in the meantime, the space agency decided to send him supplies via rocket, a process that would take a year. Fortunately, Jack had successfully cultivated crops on Mars, temporarily alleviating his food shortage. But disaster struck. A sudden pressure failure in his habitat caused a massive explosion. Jack suffered severe injuries, and all his crops were destroyed. Upon hearing the news, the space agency accelerated the rocket's construction, even skipping critical safety tests. Tragically, the rocket exploded shortly after launch, failing to deliver the supplies. The agency now faced an impossible choice: building another rocket would take too long, and Jack would starve to death before it could arrive. Desperate, the project manager secretly contacted the astronauts returning to Earth from Mars. They were informed that Jack was still alive. Enraged that he had been abandoned, the team's commander and crew unanimously decided to defy orders and return to Mars to rescue him. They knew this decision could cost them their lives, as the journey carried immense risks. Scientific calculations revealed a critical problem. Their spacecraft didn't have enough fuel to enter Mars orbit. Jack would need to launch himself using a surface ascent vehicle and rendezvous with the crew in space. To escape Mars gravity, Jack had to reduce the vehicle's weight by 5,000 kilograms. This meant dismantling almost everything, including the cabin door and windshields, leaving Jack exposed in a makeshift convertible spacecraft. The plan seemed impossible. Jack knew he might not survive the atmospheric drag, but it was his only chance to leave Mars. As the world watched in suspense, Jack's crew arrived in orbit above Mars after an arduous journey. Jack launched himself into space aboard his stripped-down vehicle, attempting the seemingly impossible rendezvous with the spacecraft.